Hello.
We welcome you to tonight's late broadcast here for the iSCAR SYMTV Truck Series. I know we just sparked off this broadcast, but a lot of things are unprepared, but currently we're under qualifying as of right now. We're trying to get some things set up as we progress on with the session and such like that. But anyway, thank you for all patiently waiting to go ahead and spark off this session here for tonight. Glad you could join us. My name is Ezeckiel Reyes.
I'm Benjamin White. Welcome to the broadcast, everybody. This was kind of a late started broadcast. Unfortunately, there was some issues with Ezekiel getting home, but we're here now, and we're here in time for qualifying, where Omar Diallo currently leads. Hunter Johnson up to second, and Malachi Drake, last season's champion, is in the third spot.
Yeah, this thing is going to shuffle as we progress on with qualifying, of course. We'll pull up actually the fastest times here. Not the fastest times, but intervals based on where everybody stands as of right now. So for all these drivers right now, I know a lot of them got a lot of practice time, especially during that 4-hour practice session. I'm interested to see on how they're going to shuffle here for tonight's order. And statistics and such like that, points, none of that's set up, so we can't really give you a number on the race here for tonight, so we're coming in with a blind eye. But what we do know is track statistics and such like that. We'll go ahead and hand you those here in a moment, but for right now, not really much to talk about because I just got home. But you see right here, some surprising names outside this top 43, unfortunately.
Joe Berge, 52nd in qualifying right now. That's not going to be good enough to make the field.
Yeah, this is the top 43 this time. Mark Frimpong lurking out right now. Michael Stubbs looks like he's not going to be able to log into. Brent Cool looks like he's not going to be able to log into. But yeah, man. Frimpong looks like 42nd. Colton Zimmer 43rd. They're going to be last ones in.
Congrats to Omar Diallo on winning the pole. Congrats to Hunter Johnson on getting the front row start there. So top two for tonight's start, but here is the extra points race. As we saw last week, we started the little system where everybody that does not qualify in the top 43 will be put in a B main just to get some points. So that's how this will work. Michael Kenner will start on the pole for this one.
Yeah, again, some surprising names in here. Peter Kenny, Joe Berge, unfortunately, in here as well. Max Yerk, unfortunately, he's in here as well. Dang. Feel bad for them. Can't say much, though, unfortunately. But they will be able to get some extra bonus points. Of course, lap sled as well, to get yourself an extra bonus point. I think that's really the only extra bonus point available for this little area. So we'll see on who shuffles where. But for all of these drivers, they're going to have to settle in for only 18 points of the day.
Getting ready for the start here. Michael Kenner will lead him to the green flag. Then Tyler Connors will start on his outside. Then it's Matt McGrath, Casey Drake, who is a surprising DNQ out of this one, and Peter Kenny will round out the top 5 here for the start.
Yeah, I got a couple of rookies in here as well. Michael Stubbs in the 025, he's in here for tonight. Tyler Connors, Jay Mulder, unfortunately, Henry Clapper. They're all stuck in this little B main area, as well as Brent Cool. I think he's making his first start. we go. iSCAR will go ahead and scoot itself in. And we'll be blinging out with 10 laps in tonight's small sprint race.
Green flag, green flag.
He kind of holds them back for the start, but we are underway here at Richmond. Kenner gets a good start. Some stacking up in about that third row as they head to turn 1. 2 by 2 behind our leader, who's already got 2 car lengths on the next group here.
Oh, around goes one of our rookies. I think it's Brent Cool, and Brayson Collins also around. He smashes the inside wall and collects Michael Stubbs. We still stay green though, and Michael Kenner slowly pulling himself away.
Oh, McGrath just spun, and he collects Peter Kenny, so these guys are dropping like flies right now as Jack DeAndrea will go around, and now Joe Berge spins off the front bumper of Casey Drake, so, oh, we got more plowing, but everybody's just dropping like flies right now as Michael Kenner has already pulled out to over a 1.5-second lead.
Yeah, he's gone. This is basically going to be his W as long as he, you know, keeps himself in a nice position as Joe Berge stops in the middle of the track and gets ran over. Probably going to be a, oh my goodness. Takes out Peter Kenny in the process.
Wow.
Should have towed it, and unfortunately, jeez, that was messy.
Well, Jay Mulder up to the 2nd spot, charging through the field here. I don't think he can catch Kenner, though. Kenner has over a 2-second lead, and it's just growing right now, but good run for Jay here in this LCQ. Unfortunately for him, it's not the week he wanted after having a strong run at Vegas, so he fails to qualify tonight at Richmond, but can get some points out of tonight as Kenner continues to grow that lead. Looks like there's 9 trucks still on the lead lap. Brent Poole, the last of those.
Yeah, and these 4 positions up for grabs as of right now. Jay Mulder, Tyler Coners, Casey Drake, and John Cannizzaro, all trying to fight out for all these all what's left as of right now. Michael Kenner, in the meantime, is sort of checking out.
Unfortunately, he doesn't get to show this kind of race pace in the race, but he will probably come out of here with the win if everything goes smoothly from here, but he's just trying to salvage points out of this race. That's all you can do after DNQing for a race, as we've taken 4 laps, or 3 laps to go, rather, as we had scoring update there. Mulder back about 3.5 seconds there as we continue to have scoring updates. Battle for 3rd spot, though. Casey Drake just went around Tyler Connors for the position.
Oh, he tapped him. Bump and run Casey up the track. He smashes the outside wall. Oh, man. Casey's going to be a bit aggravated after that little scooting boot. Well, we hit 2 laps to go. Michael Kenner, he's gone. He has the fastest time by 0.2 over Jay Mulder right now.
Final lap here, as now 2nd place comes around to take this final lap. Michael Kenner, unfortunately, probably messed up on his lap and has missed the race because of that, but shows some good speed here in this heat race. It won't really get him anything other than points here, but coming off turn number 4, Michael Kenner has won this B main.
Looks like Connors will take 2nd over Jay Mulder. I'm pretty sure Casey Drake's going to have to say something about that bump and run for that 2nd spot. Kenner goes around on the backstretch, but he's won the race. He's doing a bit of celebratory burnouts, but unfortunately he's not going to be one of those 43 who will be starting here tonight. We'll scoot ourselves to the side, get a couple of radio checks. We'll be right back right after this. This is the iSCAR SYMTV Trucks, round number 3 here at Richmond.
Welcome back to Richmond Raceway, where we're just wrapping up final practice here, a 5-minute final practice to prepare for the race. And now, as we finish off this final practice session, we'll be going to the race, and we'll read off the starting grid coming here soon. But these cars will be gridding now. Row number 1, Omar Diallo and Hunter Johnson. These two I expect to be battling for the win later tonight.
Row number 2 going to be Malachi Drake and Cody Webster. I think Cody has actually, nope, never mind. I'm thinking of another track.
Aaron Maroney will start in the 5th spot here tonight. Carson Poindexter, who is really good at these short tracks, will start 6th, so he's one to look at as well.
Hunter Rupp and Caden Atkins. Atkins with a nice qualifying effort here in 8th.
Kyler Wynn will start 9th. Cole Williams starts 10th, so good starts for both of those guys.
Rest of the order is going to be shown on your screen. Find your favorite driver, and hopefully he'll come out up top here for this evening. Yeah, we'll just scroll ourselves through, point out all the drivers that we need to. Brady Wellman, one of the rookies starting inside this top 20. Brody Gardner as well, our Wednesday winner at Lucas Oil. He's starting back all the way in 17th.
Christopher Weil back in 19th. I would have expected him to qualify a little bit better. There's Frank DeAngelis, Lacey Cool there. There's Blaze Crawford in the 24th spot. Aiden Saunders, 26th. We continue to scroll through. Harry Grindell will start 28th. Patterson, 30th. Pretty surprised to see him back there as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of short track names that are floating toward this rear of the field. One of those, the 003 Latham Joyner. I expected him to run inside this top 10, but I guess not. Here are our last qualifiers right on your screen. Choose Aaron Brown. Brian Mullen is in. I think it's one of the first times he's going to be in here for this 150 lap race, so I'm excited to see how he's going to do it. And Mark Frimpong, another short track guy, he's all the way riled back in 42nd.
And Colton Zimmer was the last one to make the field there. Michael Kenner, who was shown on the screen, of course, the B-main winner, does not make the main event, but we were listing off rows there. That's why he was shown as the 44th starter. But we've taken the one to go here, so we'll be leading off to the green flag. Omar Diallo, who impressed a lot of us last week up in the booth, and just everybody in the league was really impressed with the way he drove at Vegas, and now he qualifies pole here, and he's going to have an opportunity to back that up.
Here we go, 150 laps going to go into the books here at Richmond Raceway. Glad you could join us here live on Max Speed TV. Here alongside Benjamin White, my name is Ezeckiel Reyes, and the pace car scoots itself on in. Green flag is out. 150 laps going to go into the books.
Green flag.
All these drivers slowly working themselves into the first couple of corners. Trouble already! Around goes a 9. Oh, we're going to have a big pile up here into 3 as all sorts of drivers are scrambling around. My goodness. And you called it, Benjamin. Some sort of issues definitely going to happen here on this opening lap. And there you go. And it happened toward the front as well. And geez.
It's cold tires here on these short tracks. That gets a lot of people, and it got Cody Webster and Hunter up on the exit of 2. You're going to watch it here.
Oh, he got help.
Does get a little bit of a shot there from Carson, so I stand corrected, but still, several cars pile into that. Many cars get front-end damage. Guys had nowhere to go. Frank DeAngelis was involved. Hunter Rupp was involved. So it wasn't really too much of cold tires factoring in. He did get help from Carson there, and just loose off of 2 already, and Basin with a nice safe behind, and you can see all the cars scattering to miss. Sartaj Maan got turned. He is the one that hit Frank down the racetrack, so about a 4 or 5 truck crash. It could have been a lot more than that, so I'm very happy that we didn't have a big 20-car pileup.
But still, unfortunately, very disappointing to see a big wreck like that, especially take on some, involve some well-known contenders. Cody Webster, one of those among, and Hunter Rupp in that number 1, E2. has a lot of damage, unfortunately. But look at all these drivers who started on pit road. They actually have shuffled in front of the pace car, as we have multiple drivers actually heading themselves onto pit road. Hopefully they can make it out before the pace car catches on the exit. Looks like they will, but Christopher Weil and the 70 of Harry Grendel, they elected not to start up with there in the field, and looks like it was a good call to stay yourself to stay out of that big pack.
I think it's going to be like Las Vegas last week, where there's going to be some drivers that intentionally run in the back, just try and stay out of the chaos, and then once it comes to the end, they start making the way up to the field. I'm looking for guys like the 41 to do that, because I know that's how he approaches some of the races. We saw it last week in the B cars at Kansas. He ran 30th for about the first half of the race, and then turned it on in the second half and was running top 5 before getting caught in a late crash. So that's, I think, the strategy some drivers will be deploying here tonight, but others like Diallo, Johnson, Mulrooney, I expect them to be trying to run up front this whole race.
I think you have to run up in this scenario if this race is going to play out as is, with multiple cautions just coming into their favor. We only get 4 tire sets for 150 laps, which honestly isn't a lot of real estate to play out a good, I mean, to strategize around with tires and such like that. But I'm interested to see on when these drivers are going to use their tires, and how they're going to balance them throughout this whole entire run. And we'll hit it with another go. Looks like the 21 of Carson Poindexter has, I think, got an EOL, unfortunately, so he goes all the way back to 34th place. Colton Zimmer, Frank DeAngelis, those people who were involved in that early wreck, they have actually DNF'd, unfortunately. Tajman as well in that number 49. He too sits on pit road as of right now in 43rd. Pace car scoots itself onto pit road, and Omar Diallo, the man who started himself up top, will lead to the green.
Green.
Diallo with a good jump over Hunter Johnson, side by side for the 3rd spot between Malachi Drake and Aaron Mulrooney. And that's Eric Heater up in the 5th position. Good early run here for Eric Heater, as they're 3 wide behind between Atkins, Howe, and Parker White up the racetrack.
Yeah, now with that big wreck, it's definitely alarmed everybody about, you know, how to race here in the first opening laps. And see a big, a lot of people fending out to the low side. On fresher tires, you want to protect as low as you can into turn number 1, because turn 1 is, I guess what we like to say, dive bombable. There's a lot. Oh, looks like we'll have another caution, this time toward the back. Aiden Saunders involved in this one. Might have been wrecking toward the front in turn number 4 as well, but we'll have to see. But turn number 1 is very, very wide, and that in turn makes for some interesting stuff. And oh, looks like, not really sure what Aiden was doing.
You see him come off of turn 2 right here, and he gets close to the wall, but I don't know why he just veers left there. Unfortunately, nowhere for Charlie Beyer to go. The rest of these drivers will stay off of Aiden, so it's a single car spin, but I'm not too sure why the 008 was veering like he was to the left there. But pretty sure he'll claim that and everybody will keep going as normal. But now Charlie Beyer does have a little bit of front end damage as a result of that, so that's unfortunate for the 7 Toyota.
Driver's getting a wave around us. Lacey Cool up on the high side. Not really sure what Omar's doing. So we'll sit tight for another caution as drivers get reset. Some drivers toward the back can hit pit road. You only get 4 sets. I'm fairly surprised to see some of these drivers toward the back hit pit road really, really early, especially with only 2 cautions happening.
Looks like Warman's getting an EOL here. Not sure why, but it's unfortunate. He was running up in the top 10 before that EOL.
Not really a lot of change up toward the front. Right now, Omar still stands on top of the scoring pylon as of right now. But some new names coming into the picture. Look at that, around that 11th, 12th, 13th place. After that big lap 1 wreck, it's definitely pushed just some of these names toward this top 15. You see there, like, people like the 89, Mitch Hobbs up 11 spots, the 06 up, I forgot who the 06 is.
Patterson.
Yeah, it looks like Patterson in 13th place. He's up. He's up 17. Joyner. He's sitting there pretty, and looks like 14th place, up 15 spots.
Looks like we have taken the 1 to go here.
Zimmer got caught lap down. He's gonna have to stop. I think that's gonna be a delay of caution right there. Because he's gonna stop on the apron. He has to stop on the apron. Because, of course, now he's lapped.
I think he just slowly rolls the car and prevents that.
He's gonna get black flagged. Because there's so many cars out on the racetrack that he's not going to be able to go to the back. He's going to have to get that clear. Nick Miller just jams right into the backside of the 28 of Eric Keeter. Keeter was dead sideways, just trying to wheel the car straight. That was I'm not sure what Miller was doing. He's not paying attention in front of him and what's happening on restarts. Here we go for the lead. Looks like Johnson peaked himself down low. Omar cut him off, though, in 3 and 4, but scoot himself right off and have another lap into the books.
It's a fight for the inside of the racetrack. That's where that preferred groove is, and that's where we'll see the fastest laps be run all night. Here's a battle for the 4th spot. Dominic Howell goes under Malachi Drake for that position, rather, as Peter will try to now follow on the inside. Caden Atkins as well. This is Caden's first start of the season in all of iSCAR, so this is a very good early run for Caden's, running in the 7th spot right now.
Basin is trying to get to the high side of Miller. You could get that second groove to work as long as you roll it right and pinch down to the bottom side, but unfortunately for Basin, these drivers on the inside, they have fresher rubber. But look at Miller. He shut the door on Basin. Basin had to wash himself up, and that opened up the door for Parker White. So Basin, trying to be aggressive, is losing himself spots, and he got loose there as well. No, it looks like Parker White got loose. So put Basin back in that number 9 position, but up front, here comes Hunter Johnson. It's just a matter of when you're going to pass, because I expect that number 12 to be putting a lot of pressure on this 61 of Omar.
I think he'll keep him in touch for 20 to 25 laps, and then he'll start going for it. He can save tires behind Omar, maybe make Omar burn his stuff up, and then if we get a long run, we'll see what happens. Aaron Mulrooney, though, also running up with these guys in the 3rd spot. He's not letting them get away either.
You see the difference. Omar likes to roll into the, Hunter likes to roll his car into the corner, as Omar is using the brakes to get his car set up. That's what's allowing Hunter to be near that 61. Hunter's doing a better job of maintaining corner speed than that 61 of Omar, and see how hard Omar sails it into 1. He washed up a bit. I mean, he might lose a bit of time, but Hey, he's running up front.
Good run for Dominic Howe here in the 4th spot after missing the field both of the last races at Daytona and at Las Vegas. So he's rebounding well from those DNQs with a 4th place run here tonight. Will at least help him in the points if he can finish around this spot as we work lap 21 right now. As
All right,
Miller
man,
has got his way up to 7th, so Miller's starting to move up to the field as we do have a caution. Looks like maybe in turn 2 I saw cars around.
Yeah, one of those cars actually, oh, didn't tow. I think one of those cars, yeah, looks like Heater? I'm not sure. We'll get a replay of it, but...
No, he just blinked
Oh,
out.
it looks like Heater blinked out, and Mullen was the cause of the caution, unfortunately. He's making his first start here tonight, as... It's like... Oh, right in front of him. Oh, looks like
Bayer
Bayer
got loose. He might have got some help, though. We'll get a better replay here. And ooh, chops off that car. That's Kevin White that set him spinning, and then Mullen got turned as a reaction from Frimpong, who is also just trying to avoid the accident. So 2 cars involved here in this caution, but they were separate incidents, but still brings out a caution here.
I think what Charlie was trying to do, he's trying to get to the underside of the 01 of, I mean, not 01, but the 003 of Latham. He already has his car pointed there, but Kevin White just nosed in there to the bottom side, and he forced himself under, and that's what sent Charlie into the high side, and of course Mullen contact there with the 53 of Mark Frimpong. These two were just trying to avoid around. Frimpong obviously went all the way to the bottom, but my goodness, he went all the way to the bottom to block Mullen, but he saw that wreck right in front of him, and he tried to veer up. He actually hit the apron as well, so that's unfortunate.
First cars have come to the pit lane, and that leaves Dominic Howe as our race leader, Malachi Drake 2nd, Parker White 3rd, Caden Atkins 4th, and Brody Garner 5th, Aaron Brown 6th, Mitch Hobbs 7th, and then Josh Patterson, Garrett Hess, and Latham Joyner will round out the top 10 as they currently ride under caution.
They will have to pit. Oh, looks like Daniel Kuzma. I mean, not Kuzma, excuse me. Kamosa. I don't know why I said Kuzma. I'm thinking of somebody else. Daniel Kamosa in the number 65. Fortunate for him, he actually towed it. Not really sure what happened there, but that number 65 hits himself on pit road, and I'm not sure if his day is done or not, but he's going to go multiple laps down. So, top 5, now Dominic Howe, because, I mean, Dominic Howe's now the leader because Omar and Hunter decided to elect themselves onto pit road. I guess you could use up your first set pretty early and maybe set yourself up to set up an offset for the rest of the run. Maybe they'll shuffle themselves to the front once the run progresses on. I'm not really sure why some of these drivers did elect to go onto pit road early, because we still have a lot of people who stayed themselves out. Everybody from 10th on forward all stayed themselves out. Yeah, we'll pull up the stint panel because we'll have to scroll all the way back to, looks like, yeah, everybody still rolling around the same tires, so not really sure why Hunter Johnson and Omar Diallo hit pit road, and they're going to be all boxed in around 20th place, unfortunately.
Yeah, they'll have to
Green
work through that
flag,
heavy
green flag.
traffic as we do have the restart now. A big stack up around that 5th place spot. Aaron Brown did not get a good restart. They're spreading 3 and 4 wide on the entry to turn 1. Kevin White gets turned
All right, man,
around.
Caution is out. Caution
And
is out.
cars will pile in. Blaze Crawford. That's Quentin Warman. Hunter Rupp. Dylan Basin is involved. Now, the first big crash of the night has taken place here on lap number 27. About maybe 7, 8, maybe more trucks involved. That was just people sending it in too hard here on the restart.
That sucks. That's all I could say. And there was a bit of miscommunication there in the start, on the restart right in front of them. They started taking it. It's about looked like 4 wide up front, around where the 404 was. Yeah, they were looking 4 wide. Frimpong, Latham. You see Patterson, he got checked up right in front of him. Looks like from the 151. I think that's Aaron Brown, but Frimpong, I don't know if he was trying to go for a hole or what, and that sort of scared and bottled up everybody to the outside of him. Take a look at it again. And the 147 to Kevin White, he was coming down as well. He sort of got squeezed in, or actually, Blaze sent it, Crawford sent it a bit too hard. A lot of confusion there coming into 1. That's honestly a product of Richmond on restarts. It's really, really wide into 1. Everybody's just trying to set up themselves and funnel down to the yellow line, and some drivers run over drivers trying to hit their braking points on there. And that was just a perfect example of it.
It's at these short tracks that most people will miscommunicate and misjudge where their braking point is and where other people are going to brake. And that's why you see these entry crashes, like we just saw there with Blaze Crawford. He didn't know when Kevin White was going to hit the brakes on the entry to turn 1. And that's just something you really can't control, is when other people brake. Sometimes you're just not prepared for it, and it causes accidents like it just did there on lap number 27.
So we'll get another restart. This race was, I'm not sure, they didn't run trucks here at Richmond this year, didn't they? Or they did. I don't know how many laps it was, though. I think it was like 200.
I think it was 200. Grant Enfinger was the one that won that race.
Yeah. So this race is 75% of what the actual race is in real life. 150 laps. That's half of what Xfinity runs. iSCAR, of course, extending the length of these races just to compensate for more racing out on the racetrack, but of course that gives more chances for people to wreck, of course, on the contrast of it. Right now we're standing at a caution after caution stalemate right now, but once we do clear out some more drivers, I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna get themselves into a rhythm and know what to do, especially once everybody gets reset on fresher tires. Here we go for another restart, though.
It's going to be interesting to see how the 61 and the 12 are going to work through this traffic. That's the main objective for them, is to safely work through this traffic. I mean, you could see one of them get into the back of somebody else and cause a crash. It's just the nature of this racing. Guys on fresher tires are going to be obviously way faster and better through the corner than guys on old tires. And with it stacked up like this, anything can happen. But here we go. The restart is underway. Dominic Howe gets a nice restart, and he's got about 2 truck lengths over the next truck.
We're going to be side by side. Look at the wide arc that Malachi Drake took into 1 and 2. I'm not sure if he's going to power up on the high side. Looks like he got a bit tight. And White will have the advantage coming into 3. Here in 3 and 4, that second groove will really, really start kicking in as a defendable line. But for right now, it's still bottom side all the way around. Look at right behind. Miller going to take it down to the bottom. 3 wide, nearly around that area as Harry Grindle in the 70 gets booted out of line. Scoots himself back on in. Oh, got a wreck in the back.
Aiden Saunders around, collects more trucks. Henry Tabor's around.
Oh, there's still
Another
wrecking.
track blocking crash here. Looks like Weileman gets involved late. Christopher Weil was slow to the inside, might have gotten involved, but it's another one of those chain reaction crashes down the back straightaway.
Poor Aiden's been pinballed everywhere. He already has 14x. Looking for a penalty, maybe next time by. Yeah, he slammed the high side wall. He just got tight. Right in front of the 79 of Schmidt. He doors the 3. After the caution. Not really sure what Aiden's doing.
Looks like he just pushed up on exit there, which is understandable, but you see these cars weaving to get around, almost synchronized back there, but I'm not sure what the contact after the caution was for there. It doesn't look like we had any takers in the pit lane, so mostly status quo for these leaders here as we continue to work under caution. Currently working lap number 37. Dominic Howe currently leads the way. Parker White second, highest running rookie right now. Malachi Drake third, Brody Garner fourth. Mitch Hobbs with the impressive 5th place run right now, and then Caden Atkins, Aaron Brown, Garrett Hess, Latham Joyner, Josh Patterson currently round up the top 10.
Yeah, everybody inside this top 11 have yet to hit pit road. For all these people, they're playing the caution, right? Because they're going to be able to use these sets. Their first set toward the later half of the run. And that in turn can play out in the long run. Which might happen. I expect a long run to happen. Not now, obviously. But this long run is definitely going to kick in. Once we eliminate more drivers, and once we get into that time and to that rhythm around, I'd say 25 drivers are on the lead lap, we'll get some racing in.
We saw a glimpse of one earlier, but that was slowed by a caution, and we have taken the 1 to go here, so we'll be going green this next time. Field starts to double up, and we'll get him going once again. Highest car on those fresh tires, Hunter Johnson in the 14th spot. We'll see how he fares here on this restart.
Here we go. Gonna try again here. As the Clampett car, I just noticed Dominic Howe's sponsor will lead it to the green.
Green, green, green.
Oh, you see right there, the 151 Aaron Brown was sleeping. Miller takes it 4 wide through the middle. Contact around where Frimpong and Carson Poindexter look to be around. Miller's getting pinballed because of that. Miller's making no friends out here on the racetrack. Hunter Johnson at 12 is trying to weave himself through all this mess.
All right, man. Caution
But we
is out.
will have
Caution
another
is out.
caution yet again. This time, yet again toward the back, I think. Or maybe right in front. I'm not really sure where the caution came out.
I saw Quentin Warman with an expiring motor there. Maybe it was him, but there was a lot of stacking up throughout the field, and there's Warman down the back straightaway. I saw him just right off the screen there, spin around the back straightaway, and finally, that motor lets go. We'll see what happened here. He just comes off the bottom and just gets right to the side of Zimmer. It sends him into a spin down the back stretch. He hits the inside wall pretty hard, and that will be the end of his night.
Some people who are going to take themselves on the pit road. I'm fairly surprised. Dang. I guess the fuel, I guess these drivers are coming in just to maybe top off and fuel for right now. But the way these cautions are going, I think you just one-stop it. You'll have to one-stop it around lap 75. That's pretty deep. But usually every C-fixed race, you're around, I'd say, 70, 80 laps every race on a full tank, and that's on 100% fuel. You could last at least, fairly curious. Give me a moment. If I calculate this right, let me pull up my little calculator right here. But if I calculate this right, I think how big is Richmond? 0.875, right? It's around there.
Pretty sure that's correct, but we can always use Google as a backup source. .75.
0.75,
So it's a little bit bigger than Martinsville and Bristol, but not too much.
Oops. Sort of doing math right now. Haven't done math in a while. Sort of on break. We'll calculate the fuel numbers later. Right now, we'll get a highlight on a few drivers. Dominic Howe in the 86. Of course, we mentioned how he hasn't made a lot of races lately, but that Clint machine, deserving to take that top spot. Malachi Drake, sponsoring one of the leagues that we broadcast week to week. That number 90 of Malachi Drake in the Red Line Racing League machine currently sits in second. You see Parker White there in the 095. He did not have a good, I don't think he had a really good showing at Lucas Oil. He got jacked up multiple times, and that 095 was being pinballed left and right, but here he is running top 5.
He had good speed at Lucas Oil, but things don't always fall your way, and they did not fall Parker White's way on Wednesday night. But pace car will be in this time. Dominic Howe will lead him to the green flag. We've seen him go early most of these times, but this time he waits to go, and now Howe will be on the gas as Aaron Brown once again stacks him up. They're 4 wide, now looking 5 wide down the front straightaway with Omar Diallo.
Oh, and that was bound to happen.
Turn. And Hunter Johnson is involved. Watch out, other drivers. Henry Tabor involved. Secondary crash behind with more of the cars in the back. Oh, man, that was absolutely not ideal. Going 5 wide on entry to turn 1.
Yeah, that was bound to happen. You can't go 5 wide, but again, I'm not really surprised because of how wide it is. Omar all the way to the apron, trying to get as much spots as he can. And you see there, Josh Patterson in the 06. He came down on the, looks like the 777 of Hess, and yeah, that did not work.
So unfortunate for Hunter Johnston there. Had absolutely nowhere to go. You'll see it again, still 5 wide on entry there. Nobody backed out of that. And obviously, that's not going to work on the entry to turn 1 here at Richmond Raceway and brings out a caution. But there looked to be a secondary crash back there as drivers tried to slow down there.
See drivers toward the back approaching the scene, and looks like that as Patterson gets himself straight.
Probably the largest crash of the night, though, as far as car count goes. Free pass for William Schmidt. He'll be back on the lead lap there in the 31st position.
And for all these drivers who stayed themselves out, we're going to have, like, I'd say 4 sets of tires to balance off with, I think, now 100 laps to go, so it's working their way for right now. And the people with freshest tires still, they can't use those fresher tires, and they basically wasted that set of fresh rubber, unfortunately, because they didn't even get any racing in with these first 50 laps in, so. And Richmond is known for a lot of cautions as well. Back when I think either the Cup Series was here, we had a buttload of cautions there, as well as I remember the Xfinity Series here last year. That had a lot of cautions as well. We'll go ahead and pull up the results from those races because I'm interested to see on the statistics of those. But we had a lot of cautions. We had 16 cautions for the Xfinity race last season here, and we're ready, on par. Maybe, no, yeah, we're on track to hit that mark. We had 11 cautions during the Richmond Cup race, which was fairly cleaner than tonight.
I mean, you never know. You could have a green flag run here, but it should alarm some people the way that they were racing into turn 1 going 5 wide on entry. I don't think anybody else is going to do that again. But we do have the lights out on the pace car here, so pace car will make that hard left turn to the pit lane. Dominic Howe will be on the gas here. We're back underway. Really caught Parker White sleeping there. Aaron Brown gets a good restart this time as they fan out 3 wide here in the mid portion of the field.
Hess looked like backed out of that. He didn't want any part of that mess, but they worked themselves right up off the corner. Car on the wall right in the background. I think that's one of the proximity machines, but top 3 is slowly starting to drift away. Oh, they're still side by side for the second spot. It's Aaron Brown and 151 getting a nice run up on the high side. The thing is, these 2 cars right here, the 90 and the 151, they're on older tires and they're locked side by side. Miller with fresher tires is just trying to find a ways around them, but Malachi finally gets clear. Aaron Brown. This will jam up, looks like 4th on back. Omar Diallo in the 61 might get split 3. Oh, Aaron Brown just blocked the living crap out of that number 95, and look at the run that Omar got on that high side. But Aaron's able to clear right up off the corner. I'm fairly surprised about that now. He couldn't really pin up the high side. Aaron tried to come down and finally gets scooted out of line by Omar. Brown's trying to pull a crossover. Might cut right down in front of the 95. 3 wide into 1.
What a move by Diallo, though, in turn 3. Just cut to the inside and caught him sleeping there and roots him out of the way. Now, Aaron Brown is under fire by Nick Miller and other drivers trying to pass through. That's Aaron Maroney and Harry Grindell trying to make moves down the inside.
Harry, of course, started himself all the way in the pits, and He's had a clean truck so far, not to jinx him right now, because they're racing fairly hard up front as Aaron Brown is still falling position. Oh, he's on the outside wall! The near incident right there is a 70 at Grindle. Nearly got into the tailgate of that 151, but they stay themselves clean for right now. And a bit of side-by-side action right behind him were Glenn Bundren, Garrett Hess. Now look at that, 3 wide right behind. Frimpong gonna sail it to the inside. Byer gonna back out of it as Poindexter makes up 2. Oh, Frimpong's loose. Keeps himself straight though, but that'll allow Poindexter to get the position on the number 53.
Meanwhile, up front, Parker White is not letting Dominic Howe get away. He's actually reeled in some time here and could make the pass here in these next couple laps. Omar Diallo, though, back in 4th spot, kind of trapped now behind Malachi Drake. Really, really, really good run for Malachi early in this race. Definitely the best run he's had all season.
Oh, he's just proving why he's a Final Four contender. He, of course, won the championship last season in that number 90 machine. And here he is. He's just staying consistent and getting within the rhythm of how this runs. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I think Malachi might have slapped the outside wall, but here comes Parker White to the inside. Look how high Dominic Howe is running into the center of the corner. Drifted up a bit, and that'll allow him to get a run right up off. And you see, this is where the second groove will start to kick in, especially in 3 and 4.
Pretty surprised to see that second groove able to be used. We'll see if that's the case also on the long run, but I thought White was going to have the position, just given how good this inside line was at the beginning of the race, but people are able to defend on the high side, so that's going to be interesting if we see a battle for the win. We actually saw it last season in the Xfinity cars. We had a great finish there with Falkingham and Johnson last year, so this track does have a tendency here in iSCAR to produce good finishes here, as Bundren was in the wall down the back straightaway, able to save it for now, but loses several spots in the process.
This top 6 has slowly started to group themselves together, and it's Omar Diallo, the person on freshest tires, as Miller. Yet again, that's about the 5th or 6th time he's shoved it, or attempting to shove it to the low side, but here we go. The newer tires are finally going to play in favor for that 61 of Omar, and he works himself to the bottom side of White. Can't complete the pass though, but he'll definitely have it coming into 1, and Dominic Howe is going to be under pressure from fresh rubber, that number 61. He'll need a caution here in a moment.
I don't think it's too long before the 61 takes the race lead. These tires are starting to kick in here for him and Aaron Mulrooney, who's also working his way up to the field. He's up to the 5th spot.
Here comes Omar. He's going to pull himself to the bottom side of the racetrack. Parker White's going to be watching in the mix. Omar trying to get pinched there by the 86 of Dominic Howe. Omar was able to get clear of that number 86 right up off of the exit. And they go side by side for second place because Dominic couldn't get... he opened up the door for Parker White to the inside. Omar, he's slowly fading back. I'm fairly surprised these two right behind, even though they're side by side, they're keeping in touch with that 61, but right here in turn 2, it gets really, really tight. And oh, Dominic Howe finds the outside wall. He scrapes it though. Not enough to really lose him a lot of momentum, but keeps himself side by side with the L95, but this is just allowing Omar just to pull away.
A couple of guys we do want to give a shout out to here, running very well right now. How about Kyler Wynn up in the 8th spot? Now trying to pass Grindle for 7th, so he's working his way up to the field as well. Latham Joyner as well, one of his Rapid teammates back in 10th. So good early runs for both of those Rapid drivers.
If Howe was on fresher tires, he would definitely be using that second groove to his advantage, but right now he's on older tires, and you could only pinch for so long before you fall back. We'll scroll ourselves through the field and get a bit of highlights on a couple of drivers. How about Kyler Wynn? He's running in 7th place. Harry Grindle in that number 70. Looks like a few car lengths right behind. That 70, he too has found himself inside this top 10. Latham Joyner, he's sitting in 10th spot. And yeah, everybody is now fanned out, trying to get into a rhythm now. This is where the long run's going to kick in. Knock on wood. Hopefully we don't jinx it. I think with this lower gear ratio, I'm not sure if some drivers are shifting in the middle of the corner. Maybe people like Mulrooney or Nick Miller. Because this car, it sounds very boggy, especially in the center of the corner. I think if you do downshift, yeah, right around there, he's only floating around 5,000 RPM.
If you do shift, you do have to be careful, Zeke, because
That's
there's
right.
the possibility of money shifting. We saw it with Michael Conti in the Coke Series race at the Roval. You do not want to money shift because that will blow your motor and end your race. So that's one thing for drivers. If they shift here in this race, they have to be very mindful of that. As now, Brian Mullen will receive the blue flag as he is about to get put a lap down here by our leader, Omar Diallo. Battle for third back there. Miller under fire from Errol Mulrooney.
Yeah, the thing with shifting here, luckily you're only going through 2 gears. It's third and fourth, and if you're running a sequential shifter, you could easily just push back and forward with that lever, and it's even easier with sequential. You're pulling it back or pushing it forward if you're running a stick, but if you're running on paddles, it's one click and the downshift. But for some of these drivers, what they have to be mindful of is around where they want to shift and how they're going to downshift as well. If you downshift on the entry of the corner, the RPMs are going to be fairly high. You could bog the car down downshifting on earlier, but unfortunately, your rear end has a chance of kicking out because the difference in gear. And you don't want to be downshifting too late, or else you won't be able to use that third gear to get yourself a run through the center of the corner. So usually what I like to do, personally, as I see some lap cars getting in the way right here, if I were that number 61 at Omar Diallo and I want to try shifting, I'd shift around a bit after the center of the corner, or after, before the center of the corner or after it. I think right here is when you want to downshift. But I know some drivers like to downshift around right on the entry of the corner, so that you could use the high RPMs to slow their car down rather than floating on the sort of feathering the brake. Here comes Mulrooney to the low side. He's gonna, he doored the 095. Oh, they're getting really close right here. I think White just gave the ability to make more contact with that number 2, because if you throw a rock, I'll throw a boulder type of saying.
These two have a history here on this sim, especially the last few months. They've gotten into each other a few times, so this will be one thing to watch here, but I don't expect either of them to take it to another league because both of them are very respectful drivers. There's a reason they have over 4K I rating, both of them do, so I think we'll just see them respectfully race each other there, but right now, Diallo has pulled it out to about a second lead as lap track is really starting to come into play here. We saw Lacey Cool get lapped, we saw Brian Mullen get lapped, we saw Sartaj get lapped, so if we do get a long run, which we are in the middle of one right now, thankfully, lap traffic will definitely come into play.
Perks of short track racing as well. Just catching a lot of lap cars, and it might affect your time, it might affect the other competitors' time as well. See, if Omar catches Patterson at the exit of the corner, where it funnels out here off of turn number 2, he's going to lose a ton of time. Luckily, he hasn't yet. I'm surprised Parker White's staying in touch with that number 2 of Mulrooney, as looks like Kevin White in the 147 has hit pit road. White, he gave the bumper. He's knocking on the door of that number 2. And you see Patterson is holding his high side. He held that high side long enough that he was side by side with the 61 right up off the corner. So Omar losing a bit of time here. Look at that, from a second now to 8/10 was the gap. He's encountering more lap traffic, so At 61, you better be on the mic as the 63. I'm not really sure who that is. He drifted up the racetrack to let him by, and he's side by side right up off the corner. You can't.
All right, man.
It's hard to.
Caution is
Oh,
out.
never mind.
Caution
Caution's
is
gonna
out.
come out. Never mind that conversation.
Wow. We'll see where it is. This is a big break for the drivers that have not made a pit stop today, but Dylan Basin looks to be the driver that has brought out the caution here down the back straightaway. He was battling with Dominic Howe. We'll see off turn 2 if they made contact. And they
Oh.
did.
Yeah, looks like Basin's just. He's trying to pinch. I mean, not Basin. I need to get another replay of it. Yeah, it was had a brain fart there, but Basin's trying to pinch off of exit, and it only funnels out so much. And he didn't even out-track it as far as Dominic would probably have sought him to be. You can see he's already at least 3 feet off the wall, and turn 2, you're usually right up against the wall, and Basin probably held his line there to maybe lock down for that position to pinch, but unfortunately it just didn't work his way. But here we go, pit stops are open. All these drivers gonna work themselves on in. And this is gonna be a big reset button, and it's also gonna play advantage to all of those drivers who stay themselves out for these first 85 laps. And with them coming in this time by, it can make it with just one stop. And look how many people are shortcutting the exit of pit road, because there's a bit of a kink there.
Really good call for guys like Parker White, who stayed out on most of those cautions and has a big net gain. He exited the pits 3rd, so this is a very good pickup here for Parker White, as that strategy worked to his favor, so great job on that. Kyler Wynn also up in the top 5. He's up to 4th. He's been having a nice drive through the field here tonight.
Names we haven't really mentioned of, William Schmidt. I'm surprised he's running inside this top 20, especially with all the damage he got on the backstretch track. Harry Grindle. Looks like he fell back all the way to 14th. He has a bit of right side damage as well. I'm not sure if he got tight. Cole Williams having a nice run in that number 42. He's upside here, inside this top 20. Under pace car speed. I'm going to blink out the broadcast yet again so I can go ahead and change a couple of settings. But I think Omar Diallo is going to have a big challenge from that number 2, because Mulrooney was definitely he was reeling him in, but of course he was only gapped from that 61 because of where Mulrooney started on the restart. Now, since they're both going to be side by side and both going to be in touch with each other, I expect these two to duke it out for this upcoming restart, as well as Parker White, because Parker, he too is staying with Mulrooney. Of course, the contact between the two in the 095 could spark a rivalry in this race between these two.
Two by two here, coming to the restart. We'll go back underway here on lap number 89. Omar Diallo leads the way. He's been the dominant truck so far tonight. Aaron Mulrooney, 2nd spot. 3rd for Parker White. Green flag is out. Omar goes very early here on this restart. It will string most of these guys in the front out. Big blocking here for the 2nd spot. Mulrooney tried to protect there on Parker White. Parker responds by driving to his outside.
Oh, man. Pinpoint driving there by that number 2, Mulrooney. He slid himself in front of the 095, and Miller yet again with aggressive on the restart. He drops himself all the way to the yellow line. Oh! 53 of Frimpong got really sideways.
All right, man. Caution.
We'll have a
is
caution,
out. Caution
though.
is out.
To chill out the field momentarily, but this seems as though it happened, I think, toward the back. And
Oh, Corey Long around, right in front of traffic there. You saw some cars pinball off of one another, but single car spin, Corey tried to put the power down and unfortunately just lost the truck there down the front straightaway, but doesn't collect anybody. But he's going to lose all his spots there. Looks like Garrett Hess actually did get involved, so I stand corrected, but could have been worse for the field, but mostly just Corey Long going for a spin there and a little bit of a stack up behind, but we're back under caution here. I'm not sure if we've hit double digits yet. I think we might have, but Diallo continues to lead the way. Mulrooney second, Parker White third, Nick Miller fourth, Kyler Wynn fifth. Poindexter, after being shuffled back several times throughout the early runs, he's up to the 6th spot, so good recovery for Carson there. You can see the damage on his truck already, especially on that left side. Mark Frimpong 7th, Christopher Weil 8th, Dominic Howell 9th, and Malachi Drake, who's just been running very well this whole race. He's run in the 10th position right now.
always saw an example of what cold tires does. Unfortunately for that 93 of Corey Long. Didn't expect it. The car got loose right up off of 4. And unfortunately he collected the 777 of Garrett S. Garrett looks like he has a lot of front end damage on his machine. Since this is a short track, he's not going to be out of pace too much, but enough to really screw him up, maybe toward the long run, as people toward the back in a hit pit road. This will give another chance for Nick Miller to maybe drive it in on the restart, but he's starting on the highest side this time. With White on the bottom, if Mulrooney doesn't get going, White's going to race him as hard as he can through this entire restart lap.
One driver who I have noticed now is absent from the field. Points leader Nick Indelicato is not here. So
Oh, wow.
probably see a new points leader on the exit of tonight's race. Especially given the big entry field, I believe 60 points.
Yeah.
So, big points night for everybody that made the feature, and if any of them are up there in points, they could definitely walk out of here with the points lead here tonight. Specifically, I'm looking at Carson Poindexter.
Yeah, he's sitting himself, looks like in 6th spot as of right now. For that number 21 of Poindexter, I think is the highest he's run. No, actually, he started himself in 6th. Unfortunately, for the high side here on restarts, it's a pretty bad place, especially if you get swamped all the way to the bottom side in a 1. You're just going to have to be mindful if he does get swamped to organize yourself, to reorganize yourself and slide yourself back onto that bottom group. But for right now, Poindexter in that number 21, he's looking pretty, points-wise. And if he does DNF, we'll still get a solid 20-30 points.
All he has to do is finish up here in this top 10. He can walk out of here with a pretty big points lead. Pace lights are off, though, so this pace car will be making a hard left turn into the pit lane once again. We're working our 9th caution right now, and we'll be under the restart here. Diallo goes early once again.
Green.
That's a theme we've seen throughout the night. Diallo goes early on those restarts, and Mulrooney knew it. And now Mulrooney has a shot to maybe send it into turn 1, maybe room out of the way, but he instead backs up the corner there, tries to get a good exit off of turn 2 as we're side by side, several rows deep down the back straightaway.
Yeah, it's Miller on the high side, and since the two got himself clear of the 095, they're jammed up from third on back as White finally clears the 95 of Miller. He'll slot himself into fourth, but Kyler Wynn wants to say otherwise. 3 wide in the background, high to the low side, as Poindexter's going to sail it into the corner and pinch down the 53 of Frimpong. Nowhere for that 53 to go as he gets boxed in. Oh, Howe got loose right up off the corner. And look at right behind there, taking it 2, 3 wide also toward the back as Byers shoves himself to the low side of the 56. But now we seem stable for now. And now all Mulrooney has to do is just hit his marks to get to that number 61. But Omar's doing one hell of a job as of right now. The man, the rookie from Basin Racing, proving why he has the I rating of what he's worth.
He just reached his peak of 5,300 today, so definitely on the rise here on the service. I actually was curious to see when he started. He started in the summer of this year, and he's already at a 5,300 I rating. Incredible.
Yeah, it just tells you the amount of talent that number 61 has. I wouldn't be surprised if he's actually an RTP contender, because it's something similar to what I see the characteristics of like some young racers like Donovan Strauss, who immediately as they joined onto the service, he immediately 4K, 5K, 6K I rating. Some other drivers I can't list off the top of my head who came out of the blue to rise themselves into top split. Only Donovan in my head. I know there's a few others as well. Hunter Johnson, he too. Well, it was sort of a gradual climb for Hunter, but he sparked himself off in the service really nicely once he got into serious business, and the 12 proved it. 12's proven it. 12 Hunter Johnson proved it. He has like, I don't know how many wins in iSCAR, 30 something wins. And he too tried out for RTP. Unfortunately, he missed out on the cut only by I think 2 or 3 positions. So if he tries again, I wouldn't be surprised to see Hunter Johnson inside that window.
Good recovery here for Webster. He's already been around a few times tonight, but knocking on the door of that top 10 right now, trying to make a pass on Mark Frimpong. Pong, though, got the better exit down the back straightaway, and he will continue right in 10th right now.
Omar slowly pulling away from Mulrooney. Mulrooney has a bit of front-end damage, and he's going to be lured in by Parker White. I think White actually tagged the outside wall, so with White in passing distance of that number 2. Oh, you see there on how tight Mulrooney is right up off the corner. Mulrooney has to feather the throttle the right way, in which he doesn't want to push the truck too much and send her off. That's what's allowing Omar to get these huge runs right up off the corner, and he's keeping it nice for now as well. Running a bit lower into turn number 1, but he's pulling. And he could nail the exit of turn number 2. The most essential part of this track is turn number 2. Me personally, I don't like turn number 3 because of how deep you have to drive it into the corner. How sharp how weirdly shaped the corner is as well. But for Omar, he's doing everything right. And a side-by-side action here for, looks like around this 14th spot. Caden Atkins works himself onto the underside of that number 70 of Grindle, who's slowly lurking back. Slowly falling back. William Schmidt works himself down low. Oh, looks like Caden, he washed up. Opens up the door for the 79. And Grindle, he too got tight. Opens up the door from Crawford to the low side. See Gardner there in the 55. Haven't really talked about him. Here we go, another battle here, right inside this top 10. Also side by side toward the back, around where Malachi Drake and Kyler Wynn is. Dominic works himself downstairs. He bypasses the 95. Looks like the 90 just passed Kyler Wynn. That's Malachi Drake.
Dominic was another one of those guys that, remember, he stayed out for most of those early caution pit stops, and he's another one of those drivers that made net gains when that caution came out after that decently long run. They all made their pit stops, put fresh tires on, and now they've net gained spots from where they would have been if that caution had not come out. So good job by him and Parker White specifically, two people that absolutely nailed down the strategy here.
Unfortunately, with that big reset, they're sort of on even tires with everybody, but they did retain their top 5 positions for a reason. That's on race speed alone, but nobody's yet to challenge that number 61 of Omar. And Mulrooney is slowly falling back. That 61 of Omar as well. White sailing into the corner, trying to get to the underside of that too. They're going nowhere though. Mulrooney might have gotten a tap there by Parker. Oh, they're really close. Parker's bringing the pressure. Oh, Mulrooney threw the block into the corner, so...
He feels like he's quicker, Zeke. That's why he's trying to beat his back bumper off, and now, if Mulrooney keeps throwing those blocks like that, Parker might send him here.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Mulrooney's doing all he has to do right now to keep that spot, but you can see he is jamming up these guys. Dominic Howell now trying to take each other out. Parker White on his side. Aaron Mulrooney around. He is careening out of control into turn 3. Parker White goes for several flips into turn 3, just cartwheeling out of control. 2 cars involved in that one, and it was second and third. They were racing so close. Mulrooney was backing him up, and when he tried to make a move to the inside, Mulrooney just came down, and obviously showing displeasure with Parker White here. This is definitely not going to end well. Now Parker will tow it, and that has settled everything as definitely a blown motor for the 095. We'll get a replay here down the back straightaway. He moves to his inside, and Mulrooney's like, nope, you're done. I've had enough of you.
Mulrooney
sent him flipping to the inside.
Holy cow, I can't believe that happened.
Christopher Weil with nowhere to go hits the roof of the 095 of Parker White. You'll see it there. Sends him careening into the outside wall. Dominic Howe also got maybe a piece of that as well. We'll see here, but
yeah,
I cannot believe that happened, Zeke. That is one wild crash at Richmond Raceway.
Can't believe it. And I think we're within window of 2 tire calls. Not really. No. Nobody took 2, but I can't believe that Mulrooney did that on the straightaway. He just came down on Parker and cleared himself. Holy cow. iSCAR tensions. And yeah, short track tempers. And of course we saw contact earlier with both of them. My goodness, that ended in a shower of sparks. Oh my goodness. That was pretty ugly. So we end off that big green flag run with a crazy wreck. And Diallo will have to fend off the charging Dominic Howe. But of course Dominic, he got a lot of damage as he was trying to bypass that wreck. His White slid up. Man, I got not a lot of words for that. If I were to say something, it would be opinion-based, but I don't want to be sprawling controversy. I'm fairly surprised that nobody took 2 tires. Usually around, I'd say, this point, some drivers would elect to go with 2 and get yourself a track position. But I guess no.
Tempers flaring here at Richmond Raceway here tonight. It boiled over in turn 3 there on lap 115, and unfortunately, 2 of the best cars of the night have been taken out here. But we have taken the 1 to go here. We do have a few new players up front. Obviously, Omar has dominated tonight, but Dominic Howe is the highest he's been since making a pit stop. He's up into the 2nd spot. Miller to 3rd. Christopher Weil to 4th. Net codes through that crash bodes well for him, and Malachi Drake 5th right now. Cody Webster up to 6th. Impressive comeback for him as well.
Pace car scoots itself onto pit road, and Omar will jam on the throttle and open up the door for Miller to take 2nd spot. Weil slots himself down low. Webster wants to go lower. They're looking another 5 wide as Weil he slid. Oh, he got a bit tight. Will stay himself tucked up to the bottom side. Look how sideways Dominic Howe is. Right in the background, one of the yellow trucks also got sideways, but now Christopher Weil works himself into the picture. Oh my goodness, Dominic, another great save. And he set himself up to block Malachi Drake in the 90 in the 1.
I have received word that Aaron Mulrooney has been parked for the remainder of tonight's race. So, looks like the administrators have taken care of that. Unfortunate for what happened to Parker White there, but that is the repercussions of what has taken place down into turn number 3 on lap 115. Double file here. Several rows. Blaze Crawford going to the inside for position. These guys are near the top 10 here. Actually, now Crawford goes up into 9th place after getting beaten around all race long. He's now up into the top 10.
Oh, they're starting to jam up. Schmidt hit the outside wall. Gardner flings his truck left to take evasive maneuver. They're still scrambling around with this position. But now it's Omar Diallo, the man who's started himself up front, has just about led every single lap, besides Dominic Howe staying himself out. But once Omar shuffled back into the lead, he's yet to look back from it. And with Miller's damage, I don't think he's going to be able to catch that 061 in time to make something happen. And Miller's also getting a bit of pressure from Christopher Weil in that number 41. Now, if there were to be a caution right now, oh wow! Oh my goodness, Miller cut off that number 41.
The lead is almost a second here. Those short runs are proving to be Diallo's biggest strength here, definitely.
I mean, not only that, on the longer run as well, he started pulling away from Mulrooney. Oh man, look how close Omar is off the wall off of 4. He's able to use all the track to his advantage, and he's using it to peak. The gap is slowly draining down now. Same situation of what we saw a few laps ago. Oh, Miller, looks like he got tight. Opens up the door for the 41. He's going to sail it to the inside, though. Miller's going to try all he can to pinch. Can he pinch successfully? Defend off for that position. No. Will be able to clear into 3. Never minded that. Look how close Miller's pinching right up off the corner. This is losing a ton of time to the leader of Diallo, who's checked out from all of this mess. Wow, can't get clear of the 95 of Miller. And Dominic Howe is trying to follow in pursuit of that 41. Now Weil gets clear, and Miller's going to do all he can to pinch down the 86. Stall out. Oh my goodness. Look how low Miller is. And that has to be so frustrating for Dominic Howe. You know you're faster than Miller, But to get cut off like that, it's just a matter of time. He's just asking to get turned. It's just these four and then Omar, who's gone. We'll scroll ourselves all the way back to Frimpong, who's sort of on an island of his own. After that, we have a two-car battle here. I mean, two-truck battle with Basin, Poindexter, and Blaze Crawford. Gardner finally working himself inside this top 10, attempting to get around the 56 of Caden Atkins. See Latham Jr. there in the number 12. As look at the battle here around this position from 15th on back. Kyler Wynn among all of this, as there's a train of trucks around this area as well. Oh, Christopher caught the lap car of DiMaggio at a bad time. Miller's going to have a shot to get to the 41. Gonna be enough though. Caution comes out.
Caution is out.
And it's Harry Grindle in the 70. There's wrecking up front of him as well. Oh, that sucks for Harry. And survey says, oh, that's the 37 of Bundren, who was also around. A replay of what happened. Looks like Harry, did he get help? Oh, yeah, he definitely got help. And that was, I think, Kyler Wynn. That gray truck who... Now he cleared the 70. And unfortunately for Bayer in the 7, nowhere to go for him. And look at all these trucks just flinging into the mix. Off picture. As Bayer, Mitch Hobbs, Corey Long, Glenn Bundren, among all those who were involved in that turn 3 wreck. And now is the time to see some strategy being pulled. And here we go. We see some drivers who want to work themselves on a pit road, but some of them staying out. And this whole entire top 10 stayed out, but everybody from 11th on down, Christopher Weil, Nick Miller, Kyler Wynn, Dylan Basin, Cole Williams, they all have hit pit road.
Pretty interesting call, but what do these guys have to lose back there?
I'm not sure. That's right, especially at this point of the race. You could, what Omar needs to happen, what needs to happen for Omar for this to play in his favor, he needs this thing to go, caution fast from this point forward. So those people with fresher tires don't have the ability to use the fresh rubber to their advantage. So for all those drivers toward the back, for that, they're gonna lose a potential top 10 if they can't get a good green run going. Miller threw away his third place run to rile himself back in 12th, but who knows? He might make it up. He might not, and we'll have to find out as we take probably the 2-go signal this time by. So we'll have either 12 or 11 laps to go once we take the green. And that's enough time for those drivers on fresh rubber to make up that time. These drivers up here, I think they're on 21 lap old tires. Let's say, Omar's also going to be attacked by drivers like Dominic Howe and Malachi Drake, as well as Mark Frimpong. For them to be the lone car up front before they get swamped in on those people with fresh rubber. But where are you going to play your marks? Who knows? 1 to go.
This is going to be a shootout to the finish.
No doubt about it. Now again, what Omar needs to happen is... What Omar wants to happen is hopefully these lap cars are going to be a good enough cushion for him to... For all those people on fresh rubber to not catch up. But look how high Omar is running up on the racetrack. He's going to stall the restart. And he goes this time by, and look how many people are jammed up toward the back. Oh, Gardner does not get going. Miller flings himself to the inside. They might be spinning right behind here in a moment. Webster's stuck 3 wide. Christopher Weil up on the high side. Door banging right behind for around, I'd say, 20th. Oh, looks like the 90 of Malachi Drake gets sent by the 53 of Frimpong. Frimpong attempting to slide up in front of the 90. And here comes Christopher Weil with fresh rubber. Miller's jammed back in traffic, shoving himself to the bottom side of the 003. Contact. Glenn Bunder gets put in the wall by Harry. Oh, Frimpong gets turned, and we're going to have a big wreck up front. Upside down goes the 21, and we're going to have at least 20 pile in 3 again.
It's the biggest trouble spot on the racetrack, turn 3. There is no room to avoid an accident, and when Mark Frimpong got turned down the back straightaway, I knew it was going to pile up a lot of cars. Cars flipping over. Carson Poindexter was one of them that got flipped over there. We'll see a replay here down the back straightaway. Ooh! Looks like Malachi came off the top there, and then Carson takes to the skies there. Man, he barrel rolled to turn 3. Other cars just pile in with nowhere to go. Latham Joyner, Glenn Bundren, Kyler Wynn. I think Caden Atkins was also involved. We'll get another angle here and see down the back straightaway. Malachi, ooh, he was power sliding off the corner. Power slid off that corner, and unfortunately, nowhere to go for these drivers. Patterson involved. Cole Williams was also in that. Harry Grindle was in that. I mean, tons of trucks were collected here in this crash. Latham Joyner barely gets any contact. Oh, there he is, piling in actually now, so... Man, that's a lot of trucks. A track-blocking crash takes out many of our top 10 contenders here in Turn 3. Brody Garner also involved, number 55. Corey Long was doing a backward slide going into Turn 3. I mean, so many cars and not a lot of room to go, and that's why that took out so many drivers. There you see Corey Long piling in there. So this will put new faces here into the top 10. Aaron Brown, Cole Williams, also Caden Atkins, Cody Webster in the 8th spot there, Aaron Brown. So this has flipped that top 10 upside down a bit, but what a tough break for Carson Poindexter and Malachi Drake. 2 drivers who had been running top 10 all night, just to see their nights end like that. But Blaze Crawford, though, up to 3rd spot. So he's recovered very well from his early crashes.
Of course, he stayed himself out to get himself in track position, but look at the drivers right behind. Look how many people are left to cushion for that top spot. Omar Diallo is going to get swamped in by now the damaged 41. I don't think he's going to have a shot, but how about Dylan Basin? I think he's going to have a viable shot to get to that 61 if this thing goes green. But they're going to be racing super hard around that position. But man, for Omar Diallo, it's looking sketchy. And Christopher Weil and Dylan Basin are going to be lurking if they find themselves around this 86 and 404. How are you going to play your runs right? Let's see. For Diallo, though, he has to be perfect. Will it be enough to fend off for that top spot? I'm not really sure.
One to go here.
One to go. So we'll have 5 laps to decide on who's going to win this thing. Omar Diallo trying to run up and away with these drivers on fresher tires. There's a big difference between the people with fresh tires and the people with old tires. iSCAR's in. Omar's gonna jam.
Green, green, green.
Field up again, green flag. Oh boy.
It didn't work
Atkins.
as I thought it would, though. I thought he would just shoot away, but Dominic keeps up with him. He pinches into turn 1, 3 wide, working behind him for the 5th spot. Aaron Brown trying to pick up spots. Diallo, though, he's clear. Howe is clear, 3 wide for 3rd into 3.
Oh, it's Basin. He shoves himself through to the bottom. He gets loose, though, and he loses all that track time.
Oh,
and Miller
man.
gets himself inside this thing. They're wrecking right behind as Aaron Brown gets turned. Caden Atkins also involved in it, but they spin to the inside. Never mind that. The 50 with Brady Wildman pounds the safer barrier, and we have at least 5, 6 smoking motors, as well as wrecking around the backstretch. So 2 separate wrecks all at once. We're gonna hit another reset button as... Oh boy, that was confusing and messy.
The secondary crash was Aaron Brown just trying to get his car back under control. Unfortunately, did not and spun down the back straightaway. So that was our secondary crash. You'll see it there, just overcorrects right in front of Bundren, but he avoids. But man, Atkins just came off the apron, obviously was just trying to save the car. Brown goes down into Atkins. It looks like they could be able to save it down into turn 1, but once Atkins gets on that apron, it just further gets him out of control. No, Basin was off turn 4, but you'll see Atkins shoot off the apron, trying to save it in 1. And he's the one that flung back up into traffic.
All right.
You'll see the 56, yeah, just hits the wall, and then Weileman with nowhere to go, Beyer with nowhere to go, Patterson with nowhere to go. It just collects another handful of trucks, and now we'll be in a green-white checkered territory. There's the big hit to the wall. Hess involved as well. Oh, and Frimpong doesn't realize there's a crash going on and plows into the back of somebody, but a few smoking motors off of that as Brown tries to get back going there. Does so safely, but I don't know if this is a good break or a bad break for Diallo, because I thought those fresh tires were going to be coming, but now the driver on fresh tires restarts in 4th. And if he can get the 86 to have a bad restart and just drive away, he could lock this thing up on the restart. But I was surprised when he waited. I thought he was just going to take off and start driving away, but Howe had a nice restart and stayed with him through turn 1.
And that might be enough to make the difference at the end. For Omar, he can't make those mistakes. You have to time the restart out right to get yourself away from that 86. And if Omar goes early, and Dominic, with a shorter radius on the bottom, that'll push Omar out clean. But if Omar gets clean, if Omar gets clear, Dominic's gonna try to pull a crossover coming into 1 on the restart, or maybe use the bumper to him to shoot him up the track. Who knows, though? It just all depends on when Omar is gonna go. So we'll get the 1 to go signal. We'll go into green, white, checkered 1 out of 3. Some drivers who are sitting at the edge of DQ or for some type of penalty. Looks to be the Dylan Basin is sitting with a 16X. Cole Williams is sitting with 20X. So, maybe these drivers toward the back, they're not going to be as aggressive as they can just to retain track position. We'll see, though. Might say otherwise. Look how many cars are left. It's that big, big mess. Benjamin, lead him up.
Diallo goes early. He saw those restart tactics did not work for him last restart, and he will pull away on this restart. Crawford actually goes up to the second spot, so that inside line was played perfectly there. Now Miller on those fresh tires looking for the third spot. This totally has messed over Dominic Howe here as they head to 3.
Oh, and the caution comes out, and if Miller is on the bottom, that is going to be a bad, bad break for the 61. And it seems as though Josh Patterson in the 06 has spun it. But if Miller gets third spot, he's gonna... Oh, boy.
Here's the replay here. Patterson obviously way off the pace, and not sure why DiMaggio went way up the racetrack.
Chased, Patterson up the racetrack for some reason.
I don't know if he just missed his braking or what happened there, but definitely shot up the racetrack into Patterson to
and Miller does get third, by the way.
Might worse. So, yes, this is a huge break for Nick Miller, but now it's his job to time the restart well. He'll have to get a good restart behind the 61 of Diallo. If he does that, he could be on his bumper and maybe make a move to win the race, but if Diallo pulls away on this restart, I think that might be wraps for the competition. We'll see, though.
Of course, Diallo could do the ops, could pick up the high side, so he could use the 404 as a pick.
I don't know, though, because
but if you open up the bottom side, I mean, Blaze is going to sail it into 1.
He risks the 404 moving him, so not sure that that's a smart decision to make, but we'll see when we take the 1 to go what lane he'll choose. I anticipate him choosing the bottom line. I don't think he's going to give Blaze Crawford a chance to punt him out of the way. So, we'll see here. It's clutch time. These guys have to clutch up, and hoping this is 2 to go right here. But with these short track cautions in iRacing, you never know how long these cautions could be. So, we're just waiting it out here. Omar Diallo has been by far the most dominant truck all night. We thought Hunter Johnson was going to have a shot, but he got taken out in a big crash in turn number 1 that involved Josh Patterson and others. He was out of the race. He runs 38th right now in the garage. So, unfortunate for Hunter. His truck season has not started the way he envisioned it to. So, it started with a DNQ at Daytona and then a 42nd place at Vegas. So, has not been a good start for Hunter Johnson this season, to say the least.
Alright, we're still roaming around Mark, so Omar 61 has led 114 laps. Crawford has yet to get the lead. Miller E2 has yet to get the lead. Dominic Howe has been the second most dominant car, but of course he was up there only because of track position. I think Omar's going to pick the bottom, and this is going to open up a huge door for Miller to take advantage of. And we've seen restart to restart how aggressive that 95 is. He'll go anywhere. He'll go anywhere, whatever's open. And it looks like we do take the 1 to go signal, so Omar does elect to the bottom. And if Miller gets a good enough restart, the 61 he's gonna be in big trouble. Here we go. 2 laps.
How it times this restart, Zeke.
Yep, that's right. You got to time a restart out well. If Miller and if Omar can get a good enough restart in which Miller and Parker are going to be locked side by side, that's the race right there. All right, here we go. Benjamin.
Diallo stacks him up once again. This time waits to go. We'll see if it will pay off for him. He gets away. Miller does not get a good restart. and 3 wide with Dominic Howe. They head for turn 1. There's 3 wide for the 3rd spot. Give it to Dominic Howe. Give 2nd place to Dominic Howe as he goes up to the middle there. Diallo, though, pulling away.
Oh, that played out perfectly for... Oh, there's a wreck in the back! But that does not bring out the caution, though. Now it does!
Oh, come on. And that was Aaron Brown, I think, that was the car spinning. We were so close to taking the white flag, but iRacing has thrown out the caution once again, and this should be our 3rd green-white checker attempt. I saw Aaron Brown go around, and there he is. Garrett Hess was also involved. We'll see what happened here. Replay. Oh, Hess blew the motor there.
Yeah, Hess blew the motor.
And then when Aaron Brown stepped on the gas, car got from under him there, and unfortunately, him turning on the track, just trying to get it back going, which is understandable, has brought out the caution from iRacing. But totally unfortunate for Hess. So close to the end of the race, and there goes the motor. Nowhere for the drivers behind him to go.
What he could do is bet to stay out, but he's decided to go himself on pit road, so... If I were Hess, and I were still out on the racetrack, I'd ask for an EOL, so he wouldn't be in anybody's way. But I guess Hess will repair that motor. Down on the pit road, I'll go laps down, unfortunately. We're left with 16 cars on the lead lap, as Michael DiMaggio in the number... make that 17 now, as DiMaggio gets the wave around.
This is the final green-white checker attempt, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So, if we have another quick caution, Diallo can just walk away with the win under the caution conditions. But if we don't, he'll have to make it 2 laps and stay ahead of the 95 and the rest of the field. It's going to be interesting how he will approach this restart, because he went early 2 restarts ago. Then he waited this time. How will he trip up his competitors on this restart, the final restart, the most important restart of the night?
I don't know, because the man right behind him has a whole different ball game to it. Everybody he's restarted on, or beside, and or in front of, they've all been on old tires, but Miller in the 95 is on fresh rubber, and that could be the difference right there. I mean, because Miller won't have as big of a hiccup on the restart as these other drivers. So for Miller in that 95, even if he doesn't get a good restart, he'll still have a chance of getting that lead over that number 61. I think it just comes down to how Omar's going to fend out Miller for this top spot. And what Omar doesn't want to do, he doesn't want to drag Miller with him. He doesn't want to drag that 95 clear coming into 1.
Absolutely not. Well, we have taken the 1 to go. This will be the final restart of the night. Whether we have a caution right afterwards or we take the white flag, we'll get the checkered flag after that, if that is the case. Top 5, Omar Diallo, Dominic Howe, Nick Miller, Blaze Crawford, and Dylan Basin. Dylan with a little bit of concerns, because if he gets another incident point, he's penalized. He hits that limit. So, obviously not what he wants to happen here, but it will all come down to this restart. Diallo will lead them. We'll see how he will approach this restart, whether he goes early or if he waits to get on the throttle here. Pace car is in, and he goes early, switches it up on him once again, and he is clear by almost 2 truck lengths over the field.
Dominic is going to pinch down the 95 of Miller, but Miller is bound to get a run right above, but he doesn't get clear of the 86, so this will probably give this win to Omar, as long as this thing goes to the white, and indeed it does, and Miller's dragging the 08 to Basin, but it gets loose.
Basin trying to hang on to the race car, battle for 3rd with him and Howe, but white flag is out. Omar Diallo came in, as the favorite here on this short track. He won the pole here tonight, and a final shot for Nick Miller into turn 3 is not going to happen. Too far back. First career win for Omar Diallo. Basin Racing, Omar Diallo and Chevrolet go to victory lane here at Richmond Raceway. Dominant performance, leads the most laps, gets it done here tonight. Congratulations.
Not much to say off of that. Omar Diallo just basically dominated this entire thing. Those late race restarts were a bit of a scare, though. But the man who's led the most laps will do a deserving burnout here in the front straightaway. Congratulations to that number 61. His full results going to be shown on your screen. Diallo tops the charts as Miller gets in second place. Not enough time for him to make up the ground. Basin, Dominic Cowblaze, Crawford, Webster with a nice recovery after that first lap incident. Weil, Garner, Thomas Lloyd, William Schmidt inside the top 10. How in the world?
Bundren will finish 11th here tonight. Corey Long, after several spins, will end up 12th, so good finish for Corey tonight. DiMaggio 13th after being lapped earlier. Josh Patterson somehow recovers to 14th. Cole Williams 15th. Harry Grindle 16th. Aaron Brown finishes 17th. And he is the last truck on the lead lap. Then Colton Zimmer will finish 18th, 4 laps down. Garrett Hess 19th, and Mark Frimpong 20th.
Kyler Wynn, Caden Atkins, Charlie Byer, Brady Weilman, Mitch Hobbs, Sertaj Mon, Latham Joyner, Malachi Drake, Carson Poindexter, Bridger Olson round out this area.
Aaron Mulrooney finishes 31st. Parker White 32nd after they got together in turn 3, caused a big crash. Daniel Camoza will finish 33rd here tonight. Lacey Cool 34th. Kevin White Jr. 35th tonight. Brian Mullen in his first feature of the year, 36th for him. Henry Tabor 37th. Hunter Johnson 38th. Quentin Warman in the 39th spot. Aiden Saunders rounds up 40th. And then the final cars here in the finishing order. Hunter Rupp 41st. Eric Heater, after falling through the server, had internet problems, finishes 42nd. And Frank DeAngelis got parked. He will finish 43rd.
Congratulations to Omar Diallo for his first ever iSCAR win. We'll scoot ourselves to the side and get ourselves set up with interviews. We'll be right back right after this. Welcome back here live at Kentucky Kentucky. We go next week to Kentucky. Tomorrow at Kentucky. Holy crap, I'm fumbling upon my words. But anyway, Omar Diallo runs himself out in victory lane here for tonight at Richmond. We'll go ahead and drag him into the booth here in just a moment. Actually, right now, for that number 61 of Omar Diallo. His first ever iSCAR win comes here at Richmond after a dominating performance leading 124 out of the 166 laps scheduled here for tonight. Congratulations, Omar. My goodness, that was amazing. That was really, really impressive as well, Omar. Congratulations. First thoughts.
First, I just want to thank Dylan Basin for giving me this ride. No one believed in me, and he gave me a shot. So I want to thank them. I want to thank Nova for helping us with the engines. Just a really, really good car they gave me here today, and we put it in victory lane.
Yep, that's right. You had a bit of a scare there on those final restarts. Of course, when everybody got bunched up, yet again, some drivers scooting themselves on the pit road to take on some fresh tires. Miller in that number 95, he was on the freshest tires out of all of you guys up there, upside in that top 5, excuse me. How'd you just nail those restarts, Ryan? Were you just playing some guessing games on when he wasn't going to go and such like that?
Really what I was doing was I was trying to stack the field up and create chaos. So one time I went to the wall so they'd be 5 wide going into one. Other time I started on the apron, and yeah, went on green a couple times just to create some chaos, throw them off a bit, and thankfully it worked.
Yup, that's right, and you round yourself out here in victory lane for your first ever iSCAR win of the season. Not only that, your first ever iSCAR win ever, so congratulations on putting that number 61 in victory lane here for tonight. But before we let you go, any sponsors you want to thank?
Basin Racing, the best team out there, and we're going to try and win Kentucky tomorrow.
All right, by 10-4, Omar Diallo rounds himself out in victory lane after leading a bunch of laps here for tonight. Congratulations. Can't wait to talk to you post-race.
Thank you.
Benjamin will go ahead and take in for this second position.
Miller, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you started 15th, had to make your way up to the field a little bit. Then you made the pit stop at the end and got a net gain out of it. So just talk about your approach to this race tonight.
Yeah, qualifying wasn't really the best, but I knew race we were consistent. Yeah, Omar really, he's bad fast here. I couldn't do anything to catch him. We were on the same tire, so I tried to offset myself, and we just didn't get enough laps in, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how we ended up with 3 green, white checkers. Was only 17 cars on the way to lap, but here we are.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had to use all 3 of them. But if you got like maybe a 10-lap run to the end, say you made that pit stop maybe with 15 laps to go under caution, if you had a 10-lap green flag run to the end, do you think you could have gotten them?
Yeah, definitely. It didn't really help because Wheel and Basin were also on fresh tires, and they both somehow ended up like way out in front. I think it's because the field stacked up, and mainly the bottom. So I got stacked, and then the top kept rolling. So Wheel and Basin were ahead of me, but then that wreck happened, and I was able to. Wheel had damage, and then Basin, I think I just passed on the restart somehow.
All right, well, you end up here second place and backs up another top 10 from Vegas. So good momentum rolling towards your side here. But before we let you go with this runner-up finish, do you have anybody to thank?
Yeah, SBM, of course. I'm not on the team for iSCAR, but Proximity, since I've recently joined them for Road to Pro. And that's about it.
All right, well, good luck the rest of the weekend. Cup at Kentucky tomorrow and B-Cars at Atlanta. We'll see you there.
Yeah, thank you.
Dragging one last person into the booth, and looks like he's not even here. So that'll be it here from the top of the booth in the iRacing Car Auto Racing Series. For the iSCAR SYMTV Truck Series, Richmond 150 rounds itself out with a crazy race from start to finish. Any last thoughts, Benjamin?
Even though we had a lot of cautions, we did have very good action here tonight, especially on that long run that we had. Around the mid portion of the race, we saw both the inside and the middle groove being used for passing, so that was promising there. But unfortunately, cautions riddled this whole race. But I mean, still some good action, and we came out with a first-time winner, so nothing really to complain about.
And that will do it here for tonight from the top of the booth on Max Speed TV. My name is Ezeckiel Reyes, joined along Benjamin A.Y. You can see us coming tomorrow at the same time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for the iSCAR Race Lab Cup Series. Will be at Kentucky Speedway for 130 laps of racing for a 200-mile race as well on that end. We'll go ahead and see you until next time, and we'll sign out for the day. Thank you all for watching.